Lamar Jackson is a video game. Yes, it was the Bungles.
Yeah.
Okay? But when he hit that circle button 3 yards away from a guy, just set it up perfectly. He falls, crashes into two other guys. Looks like it's out of a movie. Look like it's out of a video game. I mean, that's something that we haven't seen since back in the day when every athlete was slow on the field. I think growing up, we were almost spoiled with the way Michael Vick used to shake people. I mean, I don't want to say average player. Very good players back in the day used to square off against very average players back in the day. Okay, it's the same for every sport. Back at basketball, you look at those highlights, Michael Jordan was playing against Diggs sometimes. Okay, I mean, that is just things that were happening back in the day.
30-year-old Diggs, too. Not even
young, handsome, strapping 20-year-old Diggs that could move a little bit without, breaking his foot.
Yeah.
That's just the advancement in athletics. Michael Vick used to do that every single week to somebody who would be like, ooh. Then you remember those running backs back in the day. Barry Sanders used to do it to people. I remember Jerome Bettis used to be able to hit a circle button on some folks. We've all seen him in that flag football commercial. That guy ain't moving for nothing. By the way, worst pick in flag football history. That commercial makes no sense. They should have just had it be tackle football. It would have made 100% sense.
Right.
Oh, well, we can't promote tackle football because we're an insurance company. It's probably what they thought. It's like, well, you can't promote Jerome Bettis as a flag football player. He's not a flag football player. He was a bust because he ran people over. Flag football, that doesn't matter. I'm sick of that commercial.
Also, no credit given to how strong the flag is. It's the flag that won't pull off. It doesn't have anything to do with how powerful he is.
Yeah, and I got all these flag footballers coming after her because you can't even stiff arm. You can't flag guard.
Oh, no.
So Jerome Bettis is breaking all the rules of flag football in that commercial that's saying he's the best flag football player of all time. That's the worst marketing I've ever seen. But aside from that, back in the day, whenever you had extreme athletes taking on average athletes in professional sports, which happened on a regular basis, you would see people get shook. You would see it a lot more. Now with the advancements in not only technologies for the way that you train and the faster people get and the better athletes that are in leagues that have happened, people are a lot more cautious to throw themselves into situations where they're just going to get shook. You see a lot of people breaking down a lot more so that they don't end up on those highlight reels. You see basketball players not going for blocks because posterizing used to be the thing. Everybody used to get posterized. Now guys are just like, they're probably going to get that one. I mean, you don't get shook. I've been shook in the middle of Heinz Field by Antonio Brown. Most guys would have never gotten in that position because they would have broke down differently so they don't get embarrassed. To get embarrassed, you have to sell out. Players don't normally sell out anymore because of getting embarrassed, because of chances of missing tackles. Instead, other techniques are taught so you don't get put in those precarious positions. So that's why whenever Lamar Jackson makes a guy fall over, a professional athlete, doesn't matter what team he's on, how bad that team is, how notoriously terrible that team is, if he makes a professional athlete fall on his face in the middle of a field, man, that feels good to see again. That's just something that not a lot of people can do. Lamar Jackson is one of the only humans that could do that. I assume Antonio Brown, whenever he was back in shape, had people doing that. And granted, he kicked the kid's face, a punter's face, and stepped right over top of him. There are those types of situations, but you rarely see guys fall down anymore. It's just not the way things are. With the athleticism levels of athletes these days, it's just not something you see anymore. So the fact that Lamar has made this kid's game look like child's play in the NFL is something to be said. And the same question will be asked. This Baltimore Ravens team, this offensive line is built for the long haul. They have 3 tight ends. That Andrews guy is always open. I have no idea how they don't cover him. That is Lamar Jackson's go-to guy. That touchdown pass, by the way, was right in the bucket. I mean, that was an incredible throw by Lamar. If he gets that game going, everybody's in deep doo-doo. They only threw it 17 times, though. Greg Roman and Lamar are starting to figure each other out. 15 of 17, only 2 incompletions. And he made a professional athlete fall down. That Baltimore Ravens team can do whatever the hell they want against whoever the hell they want, whenever the hell they want. And their defense, Marcus Peters just gets there, takes a pick 6 as well. RG3 gets in the game, throws a pick, but that Heisman formation with him in the backfield, Lamar in the backfield, and Mark Ingram in the backfield. I mean, they have so many weapons. They've changed the way football is. And if Lamar Jackson can stay healthy, this is the only question. Can Lamar Jackson stay healthy? They're unbeatable. And the Browns and the Steelers are just hoping for a wild card spot. And that's why Thursday night's game is such a big deal with both of them coming off of wins.
Lamar Jackson, I'm less worried about him because he seems like he has a knack for not getting hit, and then he's beefed up quite a bit. He's thick. He's not skinny anymore.
I agree, and I talked about this last week. How T.Y. Hilton had this ability, still has this ability to not take the big hit. And T.Y. is much smaller than Lamar Jackson. Florida boys, nonetheless, so kind of same mentality, same mindset, incredible athletes. But T.Y. found this way to not get hit. Marvin Harrison had this ability. There's some guys that just have this knack, this ability, this feel that, you know what, I could probably pick up an extra yard or two, but I'm going to take a massive shot right now. I'm going to go down. Lamar, even though he had a spin move in the middle of the field instead of sliding or something like most quarterbacks, it feels as if he has this natural ability to not take the big shot. He's either learned it through his football years or he just naturally has it. But hey, that only lasts so long. All you need is one guy to catch you. And I hope for the sake of the game, for the sake of the Ravens, that doesn't happen, because the guy that puts sunglasses on the sideline after lighting up another team, making another professional athlete fall, is a guy that I want to see play for a long time. And I can't wait to watch the Lamar Jackson evolution into MVP candidate and into potentially Super Bowl champion someday.
Go ahead.
I think his on the field speed, like his game speed, is much different than what he shows on tape too. Because they were talking about how Kyler Murray ran a faster 40 than he did, but I think teams assume, like, they look at him on tape and it's like, okay, we kind of have an idea how we're going to defend him, and then you get on the field and it's like, oh, okay, this is completely different. He's got another gear.
He looks like in a video, and I don't play video games, but I've watched enough people play video games. And you know when a guy's like good at the video game playing against a guy who's like great at video games? That's what it feels like. It feels like somebody is like this guy's in NFL or whatever it is, and this guy's in all Madden. That's what it feels like Lamar Jackson is whenever he gets outside the pocket, whenever he gets moving. He's making these people who are the best athletes on the planet look silly. And he's got people scared too. Not only has he just got them shook, which is obvious, he's got people scared to be one-on-one. Just exactly how I felt when Antonio Brown and I had 53 in the third wide and it was just me and him. I was so scared. I was like, oh no, it's going to happen. I know it's going to happen. It's going to happen. That's what people have to feel like whenever Lamar Jackson starts running at him. And it's Steelers and Browns, he's going to have to catch up to that.
The thing that scares me is it seems like they figured it out. So, like, the games where they didn't look good against Arizona, Kansas City, and Cleveland, he threw 37, 43, and 34 times. And then the last 3 games, he's thrown 20, 23, and 17.
Greg Roman, and remember, that was back whenever Lamar Jackson said, I hate running. Lamar Jackson said, I hate running back a couple weeks ago. And I think it's because all anybody would say is about how good of a runner he is. All anybody would talk about is exactly what we're talking about, how that spin move that makes people fall over, what an incredible play. I think he was like, yeah, but what about me being quarterback? So I think he's felt jaded because going into the draft, he wasn't picked till pick 32. He told the Ravens, he said, they're going to get all I got and they're going to get a Super Bowl out of me. I think he had this jaded mindset where he was like, I'm tired of people just thinking I'm an athlete, not a quarterback. So Greg Roman was like, all right, well, let's make him think you're just a quarterback. That's how you want to play. Threw the ball. They didn't have much success. And I think Greg Roman or Harbaugh or somebody had to say to him, like, hey, listen, man, I know you hate it, but you have something nobody else has. If we can run you and just throw you like maybe 20 times, you'll be able to show off that arm and be able to do stuff that nobody else can do. I'm happy that came through. I'm happy Lamar was like, okay, I'll deal with the fact knowing that I'm the most athletic quarterback to come into this league ever, possibly, ever. And now it's my time to shine, and I'm going to take this Ravens team to the top.